If Beyoncé is one of the greatest artists in the world, why have so few artists under her label reached the same level of success?
Y'all, Daunting, I'm back. Let's talk about this. Parkwood Entertainment. Yeah, that's Beyonce's production company. Yes. Y'all remember when Beyonce was in that movie Cadillac Records? Yeah.
The casting made global headlines. For Halle, acting quickly became just as important as music.
Chloe was asked why her and Halle split up for music, and here was her response. Chloe gave us a little bit of tea.
Did I sell my soul?
Some of y'all are finally starting to see the questionable things that have been going on between Chloe.
See, she has a point. I've always thought about this.
Tonight, we take a deep dive into Beyoncé's label, the artists she signed, the rise of Chloe and Halle Bailey, and the internet rumors that suggest Beyoncé may be holding back the very stars she helped create.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, this is money coming. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, this is money.
In the modern music industry, very few names carry the weight of Beyoncé. She is not simply a singer. She is a global brand, a cultural icon, and one of the most powerful women in entertainment history. With dozens of Grammy Awards, record-breaking tours, and albums that reshape the entire music industry, Beyoncé sits at the very top of the modern musical hierarchy. But behind the spotlight lies a quieter question that many fans and critics have debated for years. If Beyoncé...
Y'all, Daunting, I'm back. Let's talk about this. Parkwood Entertainment. Yeah, that's Beyonce's production company. Yes. Y'all remember when Beyonce was in that movie Cadillac Records? Yeah. And the movie Obsessed. That was like the first movies that were produced by the Parkwood Entertainment. I don't think there's been any more. That first movie, that Cadillac Records, that was around 2008. They lost $3 million making that. Now Obsessed, that was huge. That made like a $50 million profit. So that was, but it had horrible reviews. They said Beyonce was the absolute worst actress. Anyway, so Parkwood sort of pivoted a little bit and began to do entertainment, like music and things like that, not just production. So then they signed a few girls. Now, y'all know Ingrid Burley? I think that was her name. Ingrid Burley was a young girl that was Solange's friend. She grew up in the same neighborhood as Beyonce and Solange. She was one of the first girls to be signed. After her, there was a Sophie Beam. She was 15 years old. She was signed. And then there was Chloe and Halle Bailey. The most popular ones, that's who everybody knows from Parkwood. Right. Well, it's just, for me, it just seems very weird. They all have sort of the same stories about Beyonce. One, Sophia Beam, Ingrid Burley, Chloe and Halle, all say the same thing, that Beyonce's managing them, but all she does is write them notes. Nope. When she was managing Sophia Beam, who is now a DJ. No. Ingrid Burley is now a DJ in Houston. Sophia Beam is a college student somewhere because both of their records just never came out and just didn't get produced. They said pretty much Beyonce just would write them like a pen pal. The fuck? She wasn't like with them at events. She was not speaking to them about certain things. She was not meeting with nothing. None of that. And now with Chloe and Halle, well, Chloe seems like the sister that fell to the wayside, right? She had a key interview that she was speaking about some things that just don't seem right in the entertainment industry. I'm going to put that at the end of the video, but it's very eerie since we know what we know now. But Halle, now they say Halle played the game. Yeah. Supposedly, y'all know how she got the Little Mermaid deal? Well, Halle had to deal with DDG. Now that's just what I heard allegedly. I don't know if it's true or not, but DDG has a huge social media presence. He's in the new clique of all the big and new and upcoming entertainers. You know, the Kai Cenats and all them. Yes, and she had to play that game. Yes, they had to be a couple and she had a baby. I heard the baby was instructed. I don't know. But in order for her to grow and be who she wants to be in the industry, she had to do what she was told. And supposedly that DDG relationship was part of her instructions. Supposedly that's why Halle went up here and Chloe's down here. Like I said, y'all are going to see this interview and it makes a lot of sense. It's just another thing. It makes you wonder, Beyonce has how many millions or 2 billion or some people following her on Instagram, TikTok, and everything. She does not even market for her audience. For her artist. She does not at all. It's very, very strange. It makes you wonder, why did she have the label? What was the label for at the end of the day? I have no clue, because she was not even trying to make them better or bigger. It's almost like it was a front for something else. Was it a way to traffic girls? Because, they were underage. She only signed underage girls. I think Ingrid might have been the oldest. The rest were underage girls. And she's Beyonce. Can't she get anybody popping who wants to be popping? I just think she can get them popping if somebody signs and does what they're supposed to do, maybe with a man or something like that. Because again, the only one that became anything at all was Halle, and she's the one that hooked up with another very, very popular male and made sort of a power couple. Haven't y'all noticed that's a fad in the industry? They always make power couples. When I think it's really just someone's handling somebody. It's never a power couple, never has been. But doesn't that make y'all wonder, what is the point of this Parkwood label? What is the point? Chloe and Halle, they were given 2 albums for less than $1 million or something. And they didn't even go anywhere on the albums. Like I said, look at Beyonce's social media. She does not promote anyone that's supposed to be her artist. I just think Parkwood is something else. I don't know what it is, but it does not seem like it's anything that's supposed to make a lot of money or anything that is supposed to get a lot of clout. And everybody knows everything Beyonce does gets a lot of clout except for her label. Make it make sense, y'all. Things that make you say, Parkwood Entertainment, Beyonce's non-existent label with non-existent artists. Hell.
It's resonating with me so much is because it's something that you see every day, and no matter how hard you work, no matter how good of a person that you are, no matter how talented you are, sometimes that's not enough to get you places that you need to be. And that's why Sinners, I was crying right after, because I feel like anyone in the industry could really resonate with it.
Mentored personally and developed under Beyoncé's creative guidance. But building an empire around a single superstar creates a unique challenge. Because when the boss is Beyoncé, every artist around her is automatically compared to her. And very few people in history can survive that comparison. The story of Chloe and Halle Bailey begins not in a studio, but on YouTube. The sisters grew up posting covers online. One video would change everything. They performed a cover of Beyoncé's song, Pretty Hurts. The performance caught Beyoncé's attention. And soon after, the young sisters were signed to Parkwood Entertainment. For them, it was the opportunity of a lifetime. Being mentored by Beyoncé meant instant credibility in the music world. Soon, the sisters began releasing music as Chloe x Halle. Their sound was different. Eventually, the sisters began pursuing separate paths. Chloe Bailey stepped forward as a solo artist. Her performances were bold, confident, highly choreographed. Many viewers immediately noticed something. Her stage presence reminded them of Beyoncé. The way she danced. The way she commanded the stage. The way she sang with intensity. For some fans, this similarity was exciting. For others, it raised a strange question. Was Chloe becoming the next Beyoncé? Or was she too similar to the woman who signed her?
Y'all are finally starting to see the questionable things that have been going on between Chloe, Halle, and Beyonce's Parkwood Entertainment. Now, I made this video on YouTube about 2 years ago, Woke Pop Culture on YouTube as well, where I really broke down how I've been peeped that, again, Beyonce was sabotaging Chloe's career intentionally in favor of her daughter Blue Ivy. And then I just saw this tweet talking about how Chloe and Halle and I think Halle Bailey's Instagram has unfollowed Parkwood Entertainment on Instagram. Now, I think another tweet has been put out saying that I think only one of these accounts unfollowed Parkwood. But anyway, we're going down the rabbit hole. Hold on tight. So like a lot of y'all, the footage from the Cowboy Carter tour has been all down my For You page, and I've been seeing Blue Ivy dance. And of course, you know, as she's gotten older and older, Beyonce has pushed her more and more into the spotlight, and she's taken Blue Ivy on tours with her, and she's taken Blue Ivy to performances. So yeah, she's grooming her daughter to take her spot, which has left people like starting to realize that, okay, so you never really had any plans for these girls, you know, you have plans for your daughter, which is like, duh, like Blue Ivy's bloodline. These are just like some girls. But that's the thing. These are also not just some girls. These two have a longer history with Beyonce than they're telling you. Because for those of us who know, Chloe was in the movie Fighting Temptations with Beyonce when she was much younger than what you see in those videos that they claim Beyonce discovered them from on YouTube. So, you know, there's a reason why they're like lying about how they met Beyonce. There's something more going on here. I feel like these two girls' parents are handed them over to really Tina, because y'all keep thinking that Jay-Z and Matthew are the villain when what's really going on is Tina, okay? And I just feel, because like also, why was Tina in the Have Mercy music video? Like, clock that, right? And, you know, I'm just feeling like, okay, like these two have been over there for a while. And of course, some people thought that they were over there being like artistically developed, but that development hasn't paid off. If there really has been any development, you know, they popped out for about a good 5 minutes and then it was over just like that. You know, one of them ended up having a baby after The Little Mermaid. There's more to that story. Y'all keep thinking that she did that by choice. Y'all keep thinking that y'all are just not seeing that there's a play behind her having that kid. I understand that Disney was involved in that. So there's more to that story. And then when it comes to Chloe with Burna Boy, you know, I think that, you know, look, the industry runs off of African. So I think that she's sold to him because again, her music isn't making any money, and that's what labels do. When your music don't make no money, go on a yacht somewhere, go across seas somewhere. So something's going on with this, but I want y'all to also understand, like, the industry is based off of offerings, right? You got to be willing to like give something up. And I think that with Blue Ivy coming up, she needs an offering, you know what I'm saying? And it might not necessarily be like something dark, but these two might have to get out of the way or be shelved for Blue Ivy to really be able to shine. Also, this one here, Chloe, is the real competition for Beyonce. Because she's younger, she's similar skin complexion, and she can sing and dance too. And so Beyonce was like, I need you out of the way so you don't come in and have a long lasting career that could really rival my daughter's like promised success. And I want to get on that too. To that Beyonce is making her obvious, because you cannot convince me that Blue Ivy's a good dancer. Blue Ivy can learn choreography. that doesn't mean that you can dance. Every time I see her dance, it's awkward and cringy because you can see her counting the steps in her head. And, you know, she doesn't dance like what's his name daughter, like Bow Wow daughter. Like Bow Wow daughter is a natural dancer. A natural dancer. But just also peep how Beyonce is making her work very. Some of y'all are finally starting to see the questionable things that have been going on between Chloe.
See, she has a point. I've always thought about this. I mean, Beyonce has a label. Why hasn't Chloe or Hailey performed at any of her concerts? Why haven't any of them opened for her? Because the more people that are introduced to Chloe, the more she's open to new audiences, the more she's famous, the more it makes money for the brand, the more that looks good for Beyonce. I've always thought about this. Like, why in the world is Beyonce trying to separate herself from Chloe and Hailey? When I think of Chloe, I think of Chloe, I think of Beyonce. So it's always something that has always been on my mind. I mean, why haven't she incorporated her into the brand?
Music fans can be passionate, but sometimes that passion turns into speculation. Soon after Chloe's album underperformed, a new narrative began spreading across social media. Some fans claimed Beyonce was not promoting Chloe enough. Others believed Beyonce intentionally kept her distance. The theory grew more dramatic over time. Some people began suggesting Beyonce did not want a younger artist who resembled her style becoming too powerful. In other words, they believed Beyonce did not want to be replaced. But there is an important distinction between speculation and evidence. There is no confirmed proof that Beyonce sabotaged Chloe Bailey. The rumor is built mostly on one observation: silence. Beyonce rarely speaks publicly. She rarely promotes other artists directly. Even her own album releases often appear with minimal warning. So when fans expected Beyonce to push Chloe aggressively, and that did not happen, many interpreted the quiet as something sinister. But silence in the music industry can mean many things: strategy, timing, or simply letting an artist stand on their own.
Did I sell my soul? No, but I will sell my album, so stream it. Trouble in Paradise, in pieces, more is coming. I'm not talking too much about it, I'm just gonna pop the fuck out. Let me tell you something. I've been making the best music of my life, and I have to give credit to God and Jesus because they are using me as a vessel because it is not coming from me. It has been flowing out of me like water, and I am insanely grateful, and I'm not gonna tear up because I just ate on my makeup. But this is the best music I've ever created in my life. And I stopped for a while. Like, I really had no desire to make music anymore. But by the grace of God, I got out of it since end of last year, and this is the best music I've ever created in my entire life. So when it is out, you will hear that, and I cannot wait. So y'all know I'm a crier, and I am on my time. So, and I just ate my makeup down. Oh, it still eats. I don't want to like tease you guys. I don't want to, get you excited and plans change. Like, when it's out, you'll know. But I have never been more proud of myself before as I am now.
While Chloe pursued a solo music career, her sister Halle took a different direction. She entered the world of film. Her biggest role came when she was cast as Ariel in Disney's live-action Little Mermaid. The casting made global headlines. For Halle, acting quickly became just as important as music. She later released her own solo music, including the song Angel. The song earned a Grammy nomination for Best R&B Song, which proves something important. Despite internet rumors, the Bailey sisters were still receiving recognition in the industry. Their careers simply evolved in different ways.
Chloe was asked why her and Halle split up for music, and here was her response. Chloe gave us a little bit of tea, not gonna lie to you, so let's get into it. Chloe claimed that Halle was doing The Little Mermaid, right? We all know Disney is kind of a machine, and we all know Disney kind of take a little long to do a little thing. So, especially for her movie, because it was supposed to be underwater, hella CGI, like, it was a lot going on in that movie. Vocals, a lot, soundtrack, everything. Chloe tells the interviewer that the movie that Halle made took 3 years on and off to make. 3 years for The Little Mermaid. Let's get that straight. 3 motherfucking years. So at that point, Chloe was like, well, I can't sit. Am I supposed to sit down? Chloe had to keep working. And of course, she would show her sister the music and be like, girl, do you like this? And you know, they might hop on each other's tracks or something like that. But for the most part, they've been busy. Which I always kind of knew, but no shade, I need y'all together. Like, I feel like y'all was just hitting a trajectory that was about to go, whew. I feel like y'all was getting to know yourselves a lot more. I feel like y'all music was starting to be a lot more mesh and starting to, like, have an understanding. Now, I need y'all back together just for vocals. Like, I haven't heard a good harmony in so long. Like, it's crazy. But she said there's more music on the way. They gonna get back together. They ain't done. They ain't done yet.
Another name often appears in this debate, Megan Thee Stallion. Megan became one of the biggest rap stars of the 2020s. Her songs dominated TikTok. Her phrase, Hot Girl Summer, became a global slogan. She won Grammy Awards. Her music went viral again and again. Some fans noticed something interesting. Megan had connections to Beyoncé and Jay-Z through Roc Nation, and people began asking a new question. If Megan could become a massive star under Jay-Z's management, why didn't Chloe or Halle explode the same way under Beyoncé? But this comparison misses something important. Megan's rise was driven by viral internet culture, dance challenges, catchphrases, and a completely different genre of music. Rap and hip-hop often move faster in the streaming era. R&B artists frequently build slower, more gradual careers. In other words, their paths were never the same to begin with. There is another explanation for the Parkwood mystery, and it may be the simplest one. Beyoncé is not just successful. She is historically successful. When an artist becomes that large, everyone around them lives in their shadow. Every performance becomes a comparison. Every album becomes a test. Every young singer is measured against one of the greatest entertainers of all time. For a developing artist, that can be a difficult position because the world is not just watching them grow. The world is watching to see if they can become Beyoncé. And almost no one can.
People don't realize that Parkwood did not come out of nowhere. Rockefeller was the prototype. Jay-Z showed Beyoncé that ownership beats advances and distribution beats labels. Rockefeller built the label, Parkwood built the ecosystem. Jay-Z moved from rapper to mogul, and Beyoncé moved from artist to infrastructure. Same game, but next level execution. Rockefeller walked so Parkwood could architect. Rockefeller wasn't just a label, it was the blueprint. Founded by Jay-Z, Dame Dash, and Kareem Biggs Burks, Rockefeller was built because labels didn't understand Jay-Z. He wanted ownership and leverage. So he sold distribution, not ownership. Rockefeller controlled masters early on. It also controlled the touring, merch, branding, and culture. It was an artist-owned label before that was normal. Jay-Z learned earlier on and likely taught Beyoncé. Ownership over advances. Cash is temporary. Equity is permanent. That motto shows up all over Parkwood ENT. Distribution is more powerful than labels. Rockefeller used Def Jam for distribution. Jay-Z controlled the product, timing, and the brand. Parkwood does the same. Netflix equals distribution, Live Nation equals distribution, and also Columbia equals distribution. so ownership stays inside. Where Parkwood evolves Rockefeller, Rockefeller was artist owned, street to boardroom, aggressive expansion, and personality driven. Parkwood is artist owned with quiet power, long term control, and systems over personality. Jay built the label, Beyonce built the ecosystem. The bigger difference is Rockefeller collapsed over ego, public conflict, and internal power struggles. Parkwood is private, disciplined, singular in vision, with no leaks and no chaos. That's not accidental. That's learning from history. If Jay-Z taught Beyonce anything, it's don't let the business become louder than the art. Jay-Z built the blueprint. Beyonce perfected the system.
When examining the evidence, a few facts become clear. Beyoncé discovered Chloe and Halle. She signed them. She gave them a platform. Their albums received Grammy nominations. Their talent earned industry respect. Chloe toured as a solo artist. Halle earned acting success and award recognition. But none of them became global superstars on the level of Beyoncé. And that gap created the rumor machine. The internet began searching for explanations. Some blamed the label. Some blamed promotion. Some blamed Beyoncé herself. But the truth may be much simpler. Creating a superstar is incredibly rare, even when the mentor is Beyoncé.
touch up some stuff on this book. So in this book is called Spell of Abundance, Love, Wealth, and Protection. So in this book, on the first page, actually, I have a glamour affirmation that you will basically say, you stand in front of the mirror and you stare at yourself and you admire yourself and you will say to yourself how beautiful you are. You'll basically seal your beauty, like your glam, after you've done your makeup, or even stand in front of the mirror naked with nothing on, so you can really reaffirm yourself of your beauty, of your confidence, and all that. This book is mainly for like self-confidence and self-elevation, you know, calling the goddess in you, calling the divinity in you, you know, calling the beauty in you, and also work with the moon, because the moon represents the woman, the mother, water, all of this. So yeah, I have all the steps in here of all the spells that you need to do. It has one for to get rid of unwanted guests. It's pretty funny. To get rid of unwanted guests. And this book right here, right? So I'm gonna run down real quick about the materials that you're going to need. You will need a brand new archangels. And let's see. A 30-day money spell with bay leaves and the Fihu sign, which is a money sign. It's like an F with the extra part. Anyways, the symbol is there, and I even show you like what you need to do, what the sigil looks like, all that, and the keys to enhance your spell. So there are different things on here on how to enhance your spell, and basically